only do we have the DC jail, which is the DC gulag, but now we have Nancy Pelosi's gazpacho police spying on members of Congress, spying on the legislative work that we do, spying on our staff, and spying on American citizens that want to come talk to their representatives. This government has turned into something it was never meant to be, and it's time to make it end.
Okay. Marjorie Greene is an example of how the government has turned into something it was never meant to be. But I don't know that soup necessarily has much to do with it. If you're not following the issue, it is that gazpacho, of course, is a chilled Spanish soup made most frequently, I learned, with tomatoes. The Gestapo was the notorious Nazi secret police. So that is, there are several differences between those two things, Brian.
Listen,
a few small differences.
This is so easy to mock and so easy to ridicule. But I think that for far too long, people in Washington have lacked the courage to police soup. We have for so long, and I'm so happy that she's willing. I'm worried about the budget for this new police force because I mean, how is this going to be like, the airport security? That was a huge addition to our federal budget. But the gazpacho police, I'm imagining, would be just maybe a handful of people who do random checks on soup. But I hate cold soup, so I'm for the gazpacho police. I think cold soup is the worst idea anyone ever had, and I love soup so much. I have it every day. I love soup in the summer. I support a gazpacho police force. I just, what kind of force do they use when they confront a gazpacho? That's I don't know.
I don't know.
I think there's a convergence of this story and the White House pooping story, the gazpacho, and these two things kind of fit together somehow. I don't know.
I don't want
there's
them
a link
to, but perhaps they do. There is a link. Yeah, I don't know how much funding goes to the gazpacho police. I don't know if, there's been a lot of concern about the militarization of police departments. Are they bringing back from Iraq military grade croutons for this? I don't know, but they need to look into it. Anyway,
listen.
This is one of the top 50 stupidest things she said.
Yeah, it's like one of the, when you really think about this is one of the dumbest things anyone has ever said ever. Like it's really, really, really like anyone who ever, like a researcher or historian about the Holocaust never said Hitler's gazpacho force was very brutal and relentless and unforgiving, and the gazpacho would go. And no one ever got those words mixed up.
No, she was first. She's trailblazer. Yeah. I want to put. So she said that.
She did.
Into a video camera. I want to put it into perspective. So I was studying abroad many years ago in Egypt. And I grew up reading more than talking, which means sometimes I've read a word many times, but never used it in conversation or heard it. And I remember I once in conversation using the word ambivalent, pronounced it ambivalent. And I was so mortified that I still remember that happened like 20 years ago. She said gazpacho. And the thing is, like, okay, this is just a stupid thing that she said, but
that's a great picture there of the little children having it. I know.
Why is that next to me? Anyway, here's the thing: to make that mistake, you can't know much about the Holocaust and World War II. It is impossible. So not only is it so scary that she doesn't understand that movement and thus is incapable of understanding if there's any ideological or tactical crossover with developing political movements in America, but she's invoking it to attack her enemies without understanding the most base things about it. We need information about this. If you should know anything about history, I would say I would put the Holocaust probably in the top 5 or so. I feel like you should know that. And she especially should know that because, not to jump ahead or whatever, but she had to apologize earlier last year for invoking the Holocaust in the anti-vax thing. She went to the Holocaust Museum as part of her apology tour. and apparently paid so little attention that she came out thinking more about soup than about the secret police.
Listen, the soup bowl is half full here. She knows the soup. And I think that is, a lot of people would say gazpacho, remind me. She knows what it is or what it isn't, or what she thinks it is what it's not. And that's something. I still love that you're showing these two gorgeous little white girls eating chicken noodle soup. So that's my favorite thing about this story.
It's not even gazpacho in there. Anyway, really fast, I just want to give credit to a few of my favorite politicians. Ilhan Omar tweeted out, "It's not real. We are being pranked." Nope, sorry. I wish it was a fake as well. It doesn't seem that it was. AOC tweeted, "At least she leads by example. She clearly banned all books from her house years ago." And says, "For real though, when you see how the GOP openly embrace and leverage fascist members of their party versus how much some Dems run away and frame their own base mobilizers as quote just as extreme, it's not hard to see how that asymmetry, false equivalence has contributed to where we are." Yeah,
listen, there are two great outcomes that can happen. One, everyone in America who is on the left can send gazpacho to her, which I think would be awesome. And think of the Halloween costumes that we're looking at.
No,
that are upcoming.
No.
The gazpacho police, I mean, just the gazpacho police force is gonna be so amazing.
Oh, geez. Just be careful. Someone's getting canceled over this.
I know.
Anyway, really fast, I just wanted to send people back to the closest equivalent to this we could find was the time that Scott Walker said to a Jewish constituent, Molotov, which is not right, obviously.